Hello and welcome to a Seismic Cinema podcast. So chop some feet off, put your feet up on an IOP, that thing that Obi-Wan goes on in the desert, and prepare to say hello there on loop for the next hour.
Oh, that was a mouthful.
Yes, it was.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Yes. So I'm Reiko Hardeen, also known as Colin. I'm joined by Kenobi, also known as Daniel, and Paul, who was the high ground, but we couldn't work out how to put him at the top of the StreamYard video, so he's now the low ground.
Hello there.
Yes. Okay, so we are that excited about the new Obi Wan Kenobi show coming out 2 weeks tomorrow that we've decided to do our very first preview of a TV show. So we're going to be talking about the show upcoming, but it's going to be a bit of a love-in about Obi-Wan in general, with a few different surprise activities planned that Paul knows nothing about.
Hate you.
So we pivoted a bit. If you've seen the MCU ranking, which we've just posted, I totally messed up the schedule for this week. I'll totally admit that. So we were going to review a movie called Snatch. However, I didn't have time to watch it, so that's why we decided to preview Obi-Wan instead. So
I know, I'm a little bit disappointed.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so light structure, as I said, Daniel knows the structure. Paul doesn't. I'm quite enjoying the power that I'm holding over him right now. I just thought we could start by just sharing a wee bit of appreciation for Obi-Wan, the character, and our memories of the character over the years and what he means to us, because I think he means quite a bit. Daniel, do you want to kick us off? What does Obi Wan Kenobi mean to you?
Pretty much the kind of, the almost like your teacher. The one that kind of, how do I put this? That sounds too easy.
No.
What's that?
Don't give a question to start off with.
Too emotional.
Someone, maybe a character you can relate to. Being a mentor, later on in life. But, someone who maybe aspire to be to, as well. Someone who's morally good. That's pretty deep question at the right at the start.
It was more just like, what are your memories of the character, like the different actors, storylines, in the animation shows, just things that come to mind. Paul, what about you?
Well, he's my role model in life. I'm styling my hair after his Clone Wars kind of hairdo. To be honest, I never really liked his character. I always thought he was a failure because the dark side won out in the end under his watch. He should have done better with Anakin. His fault.
That's not true though, is it?
No. Love my bits. Like Daniel was saying, like he's obviously like the epitome of what a good Jedi is. Like he was always the one, and like the Clone Wars and things, he was always the one to pick the right decision, like the morally right decision. So he's always the good balance to kind of Anakin's brashness when it came to things, and
almost like his voice of reason.
Yeah, exactly. Although in the prequels he does get his backside kicked quite a lot.
Yeah.
This is our specialty. 2 seconds in, boff, knocked out.
I don't think I've ever seen a character before that's just so universally loved though. Like I don't think I've ever met someone who's like, oh yeah, I don't like Ewan McGregor or I don't like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like I've never experienced that.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, I'm talking about real people. Have you ever heard a person tell you that they don't like Obi-Wan or Ewan McGregor or Alec Guinness?
No.
Their ex-wives.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. So for me, Obi-Wan has, and sorry if this is a spoiler for any future ranking podcast, Obi-Wan has always been my favourite character. I'm a massive fan of Luke Skywalker as well, and a few others, but Obi-Wan's always been my favourite. And whether it's Alec Guinness's portrayal or Ewan McGregor, I just think he is the top tier character, and I think the hype for this show across all of social media and anyone you speak to really shows that that's the case.
Yeah, I was watching the trailers just as my laptop was taking about an hour to boot up. And I watched the first kind of sneak preview trailer, and it's 17 million views already, and that's just like on one of the channels.
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor is actually getting younger. If you've seen any of the kind of press photos they're doing, he's going back the way.
He's like Paul Rudd. It's like some sort of witchcraft, and he's just staying young.
And he doesn't seem like somebody who would have like plastic surgery or anything like that. He may do, but it just seems like it's natural.
He seemed older actually playing Kenobi, but then when he was doing the press conference, he looked younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all do love him. So that does lead us nicely into the next section, which is about what do we know so far. I know Paul hates trailers, but I'm assuming, as he said, he has seen both of the trailers. So I thought we could just have a wee discussion about what we've picked up from the trailer, maybe wee tidbits we've heard, any casting news, just like what we know so far about the show.
I know nothing.
Paul, you know nothing. You literally just said you watched the trailer.
I did. I still don't know what's going on.
Paul's a bit grouchy, folks, because his laptop was winding him up.
I know. And I wasn't going to take part in the podcast because I got soaked and I was away at the Bulls and I just got back. And then I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. And then I got peer pressured into it. So
I got soaked as well. I went a run with Boydie, who, by the way, Paul, did you know Boydie watches a lot of our podcasts?
Poor bugger.
I know, just give him a wee shout out when we get a chance. So, right, Paul, something.
Yes.
What's something you picked up from the trailer? Something you could share with anyone who maybe's not seen them?
Well, I don't know. I know like I don't know if this is just what people have been saying, but the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, everyone's getting on the case because he looks different from Rebels. Is it Rebels he's in?
Yeah, you wouldn't know that, but yeah.
Yeah. But I think he looks pretty gallus, and the speech he does about the Jedi leaving a trail of compassion and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was so cool, that wee kind of speech, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the Inquisitors in the show.
You should try and watch some of the key Rebels episodes before the Obi-Wan show starts.
This should just be like bingo, where like you should just try and guess how many minutes in before Colin says the word Rebels.
Oh, you would know more about the Inquisitors if you watch Rebels. So
I know, but I'm quite looking forward to just seeing them as is on the live screen. But that's just a question for you, kind of guys. Like, is this the same Inquisitors that's from Rebels, or is this just brand new people that are original to this series?
It's the same ones.
Is it actually?
Yeah, I think the ones from Rebels it's pretty much canon. So.
Oh, okay. So these are the same ones from that. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the bad side of that is we know that certain ones can't perish because Rebels is set after this.
Oh, so I see.
That does take away a wee bit of the wonder about what happens to them.
Okay, I get that. That's cool. What was the the kind of black thing in the sea? Is it a kind of ship?
I think it's some kind
like a fortress.
Yeah, some kind of base.
Right. Okay. Oh, actually, I think I seen somebody talk about this. It's like a fortress, like Inquisitorius or something like that. Something.
Yeah,
weird.
Their house basically.
Their house.
Inquisitor's house.
I seen a couple of Death Troopers in there. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah. So Daniel, anything you picked out from the trailers you think was quite interesting or worth mentioning?
Yeah, I like the fact that you see Owen Lars back in it. and they used the same actor to play him as well.
He's very highly regarded. I've only ever seen him in his very small role as Owen in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but he's apparently like a really good actor.
He's a great actor. He's been in quite a lot. He was in Warrior with Tom Hardy.
Right. I think he was in Zero
Dark
Australian.
Yeah, he was one of the SEAL team members.
Yeah.
So it's basically set. Is it 10 years after the events of Episode 3?
Yeah.
And basically all the Jedi have been hunted down, and I think the Inquisitors are looking for Kenobi specifically on Tatooine. So, it looks pretty interesting, and it's not just all on Tatooine by the looks of it. It's also on other planets, which will be good. There'll be different settings, and it looks amazing. It looks as if it'll be very, very eventful.
And that was a big worry about people about an Obi-Wan show, is that if he never left Tatooine, it would just be another full season of a Star Wars show on a desert planet. But as you say, it does look like they will venture off-world.
Yeah.
And I've heard a rumor that the reason that happens is people are starting to go after young Luke, so he's trying to take them away from Luke by going off planet. That's just a theory I'd heard.
Mm-hmm. No, I could believe that.
It was really cool. Sorry, Daniel, you go.
Sorry, did anyone notice that Obi-Wan used a blaster in one of the trailers?
Yeah.
Yeah, next to the Sandcrawler or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's funny after. Yeah. He beat me to it there.
Just like something I really liked was and it's became heavily memed, was Obi-Wan using the electro binoculars looking at young Luke at the large homestead.
Oh, the amount of memes I've seen on that was ridiculous.
But they've done a really good, it seems, casting job of young Luke, and that he does look a lot like young Anakin, so that's a nice similarity there.
Yeah.
I don't see him getting a lot of screen time though. I think maybe just fleeting appearances, but I could be wrong.
No, I mean they could. I think they could keep him maybe in the background, because obviously the more central character is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
So they might want to keep that kind of sense of mystery. Maybe Kenobi might not know him that well, so they might want to make the audience not know Luke that well either. You know, they'll probably just see it as Kenobi's perspective. Might keep it that way.
I think they maybe need to build that relationship a bit, because it'd be quite interesting to see Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan talking to young Luke, wouldn't it? And showing why he knows him in A New Hope.
But in New Hope he doesn't know him that well, though, does he?
Yeah, because he says, I wonder if you know Old Ben, if he means Old Ben. So it might seem as if he doesn't know him.
You know, he does know him a wee bit, because I think Obi-Wan saved his life at one point. And Luke knows of him. Like, he says that, like, Ben Kenobi, and he says that wizard's just a crazy old man. Like, he obviously has met him before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just always under the impression that he must have came across him, but he didn't really have that. He didn't, as if like he would talk to him or anything in the way he'd seen him, kind of thing, just as if he knew of him. That was always my kind of impression.
Do you want to hear a cool comic book anecdote? That Black Chrysanthemum from Book of Boba Fett was trying to get to Luke, I think, and it was Obi-Wan that gave him the scar that he's got.
Oh, right, okay. Why was Black Chrysanthemum?
I think he was sent maybe to take out Luke. I don't know, but there is potential for Black Chrysanthemum to appear in this. But we'll get onto cameos later. That's actually a section on its own.
They don't know about Luke though, do they? Like, they don't know Luke's alive, do they?
I I don't know if they have a feeling.
They maybe I don't. Yeah.
Oh, right, because he's force sensitive, not just because he's Luke. They just think he's force sensitive. So the Inquisitors are after him.
I don't think the Empire find out until Luke destroys the Death Star, and that's when Vader. In the comics, it's actually Boba Fett that gets sent to find out who Luke is and finds out his name's Skywalker. It's in one of those Darth Vader comics I've got.
I see. Okay. Cool.
Like, Paul, anything else that stood out for you or that you noticed in the trailers?
I mean, I'm trying to think back what actually happened in the trailers. Because it doesn't really show you an awful lot. It's just mainly like you're saying, like Dan said, but you see him using the blaster and things. I noticed seeing one of the shots was somebody getting like hanged in like the square. I wasn't sure somebody was getting hanged or if one of the Inquisitors was using the Force to hold somebody up. Like you just see feet dangling.
Yeah. It could be maybe a suspected Jedi.
Was it maybe somebody that knew about like Kenobi's whereabouts, possibly?
Possibly. I just there's something that's like these Disney Star Wars shows are starting to get a wee bit, after the Mayor and Boba Fett, a couple of hangings here and there.
The best scene for me in the trailer was when Owen was kind of taunting Obi-Wan about his failure to train Anakin when he said he needed to train Luke.
Yeah,
that sows the seeds for their future
animosity.
Yeah. So that's going to be I think Owen will have quite a big part in the show. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, probably. Can I have that high paid actor no use him?
Yeah, definitely. Beru will probably get a wee part as well. It's the same actress again from Attack of the Clones.
Do you think they'll have the blue milk?
Yes. Like a bantha. Daniel, anything else before we move section? Is there anything else that stood out to you just from the trailers alone?
Yeah, towards the end of the trailer, you get that hint of, well, not so much a hint, but basically showing Vader. You just hear his breath, and you see Kenobi's eyes kind of widen.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the same thing though. That could maybe.
Well, it might not be, but the way it was cut, but it suggests that they're going to meet. And
it's been confirmed that they're going to have a reunion.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to set it up.
I know.
Yeah, that will probably be quite an emotional one. I think when they finally reunite, particularly with Hayden Christensen reprising his role as well.
I have a feeling that might be one of the later episodes in the season. They'll keep that back.
Yeah, keep you hooked until the end.
Yeah,
it would make sense. It was really cool seeing the end of that second trailer when they're putting like all the apparatus on Vader. We've never seen that before in that way.
Yeah.
Aye, just getting them all plugged in.
Yeah. He must have been in absolute agony.
I know. You might see him in the Bantha tank, actually. It'd be interesting.
You say the Bantha tank?
Did I say Bantha tank? Oh my god.
It's because I said Bantha like 2 minutes ago, probably.
Yeah, it was in my head.
Yeah.
There's
something
right.
I was going to
say. You know what I mean?
Top Collins, Danny DeVito.
There was people when this show was coming out were saying like if Vader and Obi-Wan meet, it breaks continuity. But there's actually a line in the original trilogy where it's when the Han, etc., first arrive in the Death Star, and Vader says, "I haven't felt this presence since," and then he stops talking and walks away.
Yeah, because he's thinking back to that moment
and a lot of people
meet in this season.
Yeah, a lot of people think that line really opened the door to this meeting happening.
Yeah.
Yes, that George Lucas leaving doors open. He's a good man.
It's amazing how much they've managed to spin off like that whole Clone Wars animated series coming from one throwaway line from old Ben.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Right. Last minute thoughts just before we jump on. So just anything from the trailers that stood out. Oh, Duel of the Fates.
I was just about to say that, the music.
Did that not just hit you in the first trailer?
Yep, got me super hyped. Super hyped.
And I like the way the title turned to like sand.
Oh, I've had enough of sand.
Oh, it's coarse and rough and irritating. It gets everywhere. we might come back. I'd like to just move on to some of the other things, but we might come back to these. So we mentioned cameos. So we're not going to do a full hour ranking like we normally do, but I've got 7 names here. And I just want us to very quickly decide as a collective who's most likely to turn up in the show. So we've got, or let's see, Daniel, Paul, can you think of anyone I might have on this short list?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett wouldn't make this list, no.
What?
Jabba the Hutt.
No, actually. I'll just tell you. Will I just tell you?
No.
Okay.
Let's see, who have we got?
So experience.
Oh, Jimmy Smith is already confirmed in it, isn't he?
I wasn't sure if he's officially confirmed, but I do have Bail Organa down, yeah.
Yeah.
Yoda I've got down.
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon I've got down, yeah.
Run a roll.
Leia.
Princess Leia, yeah. Because
Padme.
if Bail Organa's in it, there's a high chance. Padme's deceased by that point, I would say.
Force Ghost. Padme.
This is a flashback. I've heard rumors of flashbacks in the show. There's 3 more.
How good did you had some Wars flashbacks?
Palpatine, yeah. Think about the era we're in.
What year are we in?
Grand Moff
10
Tarkin.
years after Revenge of the... Yep, Tarkin. 2 more. So this is pre-Rogue One and Solo and Rebels.
C-3PO.
No, not on my list.
No.
But possible.
Kira.
Not on my list, but I did see it on a list when I was looking for ideas.
Darth Maul.
They're both no, because Darth Maul was going to be in it, but then they changed their mind because it would have ruined the Twin Sons episode of Rebels.
I suppose, yeah.
They're both. Well, one of the characters was in Revenge of the Sith, and one of them is a character created for the Clone Wars.
Cody,
yeah, Commander Cody, possibly Tamura Morrison.
that'd be awesome.
Fives.
Because he can play any of the clones. Like he's been linked to playing Rex in the future show
Five's
as
not
well.
dead.
Did Fives die? Actually,
I didn't say Fives. I said Rex.
No, Daniel said Fives.
I said
All
Fives.
right. Yeah, Fives died during that.
Did he?
Epic.
It's been a while. I can't remember.
One more character specifically created for the Clone Wars. Dave Filoni's
Ahsoka.
favorite character, Ahsoka. Yeah. Right. So we'll do it very quickly. Out of those 7, who's the least likely to appear?
Ahsoka.
Do you agree with that, Dan?
Yeah, I would say Ahsoka.
Okay. So
I don't think it
wouldn't
make
really
any sense putting her in it just now.
I won't take part in this. I'll just let you guys do it. Right. So number 6. So Qui-Gon, Tarkin, Palpatine, Yoda, Bail Organa, Leia, Cody. We'll come back to this once we've watched the show. We'll do a special and we'll see how we got on.
I don't know. Probably say Cody. I don't know if what they'll do with it.
Do you agree with Cody?
Yeah, I would agree with Cody.
Okay, so that's 6. Number 5.
I think it'd be cool if he turned up as a stormtrooper, right enough, just like general.
Yeah.
Die.
Number 5, so Qui-Gon, Tarkin, Palpatine, Yoda, Leia. Who do you think's? And Bail Organa, sorry.
Well, I think the top 4 that probably would appear would be Yoda. Well, not Yoda, like Qui-Gon. I think Qui-Gon's going to appear as a Force Ghost, and if it doesn't,
Liam Neeson
try and shame.
would make my life.
Palpatine.
I agree with Qui-Gon as most likely.
Not the most likely, the most I would like to see, but probably Palpatine, like Daniel's saying.
Yeah.
Obviously, he'll be ordering Vader about, so there is a chance, but it might overshadow Vader a bit. So do you think Qui-Gon's the most likely to appear at the list?
I would say so. I think you would have. Yeah.
Well, Yoda at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda set Obi-Wan some homework for Qui-Gon to teach him how to become immortal, essentially. So we need to see that training, I would say. If they don't,
obviously in the Clone Wars, you see him talk. Well, you hear Qui-Gon talking.
Yeah. Liam Neeson's got to appear.
Yeah.
So you're saying Qui-Gon, Palpatine. Think we'll see CGI Tarkin?
Think so.
Krennic, Paul?
Who's that? Krennic?
I don't know. I don't think they'll. I hope they don't overstack it. They've got their main cast. They've got Vader. They've got Hayden Christensen as Vader. They've got Ewan McGregor. They've got the person that played one of the Sand Snakes in Game of Thrones. She's in it.
Yeah. I think I've seen which one you're talking about. Yeah.
And the guy that's from the comedy movies. Can't remember his name. He's in the most recent trailer.
The comedy movies. There's lots of comedy movies.
I know, but there's like a comedy actor. I can't remember his name.
Was it the guy that's in the Eternals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name
I've just seen a quick flash of him, actually.
Mm-hmm. And then you've obviously got the ones playing Owen and Beru. Jimmy Smith's Paul seems to think it's been confirmed.
I thought I seen something that it was confirmed, and a young Leia was confirmed as well.
Yeah, we've got young Luke, as we know. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see who else is in it. Okay, so the next section is quite a short one. What is... Why can't I never read my writing?
Oh, do you think Mandalorian will pop up in this and it'll be like Mandalorian Season 3 continued?
No, they're not doing that. Right.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll steer well away for that.
So, Dan, very short section, this one. What are you most looking forward to in the Kenobi show?
The fight between Obi-Wan and Vader.
Great answer. No, we're not allowed to steal that. Paul, what about you?
I just think seeing Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan, I think it's just going to be, that's the thing I'm most looking forward to, is just him reprising that role and just bringing back all the things we remember.
Do you think it'll be the same Kenobi, or do you think it'll be different?
I think he's going to be downtrodden and just broken. totally like probably PTSD kind of way, like just a shadow of his former self. But
yeah,
I think it'll be interesting to see that kind of coin flip of his character.
Mm-hmm.
So shame in a sense, because a big part of Kenobi's character has always been his wit.
Yeah, he can still be witty, but a shadow of your former self.
Yeah. No, that's good. And for me, I'm looking forward to seeing Owen and Obi-Wan's dynamic, as I mentioned earlier, and seeing how that evolves.
Yeah. He seems really to rip Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Have you seen all the memes for that as well?
Yeah.
So good. I would love to be somebody that was creative enough to just think of something like that, those kind of memes.
Well, you're very creative. You're a semi-finalist in a podcasting tournament.
We are a semi-finalist.
Nah, it's all you. Chance for a shameless plug.
Oh, no, it's not all. I've had lots of help along the way.
This comes out after that deadline, so there's no point.
All right, aye. Never mind then. We probably lost. Uh,
The bit
we had a lot of help along the way, Colin, because I did the meme, Daniel did the logo, Strachan did the diss.
I uploaded the videos to Headliner.
You uploaded the videos. I did a terrible Rod Serling impression for a promo.
A prank
I'm
call.
sure there's another one. Aye, it's been a fun ride, but at this point we're probably it. But who knows?
Right, so there was just a spin-off to that last bit. Any big predictions, Paul? We'll start with you this time. Have you got any predictions? Anything you think will come to pass in the show?
Well, I don't think it's a prediction as such. I was listening to our pal Ryan at Thoughts About Star Wars a few weeks back when the Obi-Wan trailer first dropped, and he said something I thought was quite interesting. And it was about, I don't think Obi-Wan's going to be using his lightsaber at all during the series, and if he does, it will be very rarely, maybe once or twice, because lightsabers tend to draw a lot of attention. So because he's trying to hide so much, I don't think he's going to use it as much. So I think if people are going to be looking for like Obi-Wan whipping out his lightsaber every 2 seconds, doing all these kind of good deeds or whatever they are, I think they're going to be disappointed, but I don't mind that because it's all about him trying to blend in and be kind of clandestine.
Yeah, he obviously will probably use it against Vader, you'd have thought.
Yeah, I'd imagine in that case, but I mean, like, just out in the open, like, if he's, like, fighting stormtroopers or inquisitors or whatever, or even if there's just inquisitors around, I don't think he'll use his lightsaber.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think he'll use it very much for maybe key episodes, but yeah, I think he'll want to try and keep his head down as much as possible.
Yeah,
through this,
and doing that retains the great moment in A New Hope where he slices off Ponda Baba's arm, because that's probably the first time a lot of people have seen a lightsaber in years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Right. One of the bits I'm most excited about: head-to-head 5-question Obi-Wan quiz.
Oh dear.
So, do you have anything to write down write on in front of you?
Nope.
Nope.
You'll just memorize your answers then.
Okay.
Be honest. Right.
Okay.
Question 1. Which movie does Obi-Wan put your phone away? I'll bar you. I'll kick you out again. In which movie does Obi-Wan first join the Jedi Council? So just have your answer in your head.
Right, hold on. Okay.
Right. How can I get answers from you without you just stealing the other person's answer?
Unless we do the answer at the same time. I don't know.
Okay, let's go then. So 3, 2, 1.
Revenge of the Sith. Damn it.
Paul is right. It was Revenge of the Sith he first appeared in the council.
Oh well, I think I need to rewatch the movies then.
Paul's going to be living off that one for a while. I tried to make these questions not impossible, but not like really easy. Like, what color is his lightsaber? Do you know what I mean?
Green.
Right. Number 2. In A New Hope, what was the exact wording he used to describe the use of a blaster? So have a think. He says it's not as something or something as a blaster.
Oh God.
So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's not as something or something as a blaster.
Accurate and deadly.
No.
Clumsy. I don't know.
What a question.
not as
Not bad. It's not actually a bad
not as
question.
accurate and as messy as a blaster.
You were closer the first time, but neither of you got it right. It was, it's I can't remember the exact bit, but he said it's not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
I don't remember that line at all.
That's a line. That's a line. You can look it up. Right, so it's 1 to Paul at the moment. Number 3. I'll go back. I'll do number 3 at the end. So different number 3. What color of lightsaber does Obi-Wan use when he defeats Darth Maul in Phantom Menace?
Green.
Ultimately defeats him. So Daniel's already said his answer, but 3, 2, 1.
Green.
Blue.
It's green.
It was Qui-Gon's.
Obi-Wan, Darth Maul kicks his lightsaber down the shaft, and then he picks up Qui-Gon's and cuts him in half.
I was going to steal green, but I thought I better not.
Yeah, so that's 1-1. So question 4. What does that say?
Oh, don't start this again.
Right. I don't know if you'll get this one because you struggled with the other quote one. Do you want me to pivot slightly?
Nah, hit us with it. Come on.
Go for it.
Right. When Alderaan is destroyed, Obi-Wan sits down and kind of clutches his heart, and he says, "I sensed a great disturbance in the Force," and then he talks a wee bit more. What does he say after that? And the person who gets closest will get the point.
Says as if millions of people are screamed out in pain and then just stopped.
Paul, you get any advance on that? I'll judge who's the closest.
It's pretty accurate, to be fair. I was going to say something very similar to that. So
what were you going to say?
Pretty much like millions of voices screamed out in terror, and then there was nothing or something like that.
I'm actually going to give it to Paul because he actually used the word terror.
Fair enough.
Which I think was the exact word. Yeah, it's like a million voices cried out in terror, and they were suddenly silenced. And then he goes back to train and look after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember who your best friends are, Colin. Remember that. Yep.
So 2-1 to Paul at the moment. The last question. Can I ask it? And if none of you know it, I'll make something up on the spot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I wanted to have like a kind of background one, but I don't think this is really that well known. So I'll ask it. What planet is Obi-Wan from? Like, where's his birth planet? If neither of you know it, I'll ask a different question. It's not maybe widely known, but if you've looked at like Wikipedia or like Obi-Wan's bio, you maybe seen it before.
I literally heard this the other day on a podcast. The Moisture Farm report. I was listening to that one, and they'd literally said it, and I cannot remember.
I can honestly say I don't know.
Can I get a point because I heard it and I just can't remember it?
No. Do you concede in this one?
Does it start with M?
No.
Then I'm in.
Does it begin with a C?
No. Stewjon. Stewjon.
No.
But I'll ask one final question. And the question will be... Oh, this is a good question. Again, you might not know this one. We'll see how it goes. In the Jedi archives in Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan is looking at a bust of a Jedi or a former Jedi. And then the Jocasta Nu, the librarian, comes over and talks to him. Who was he looking at? Who's got like
Sifo
a bust
Dyas?
It wasn't Sifo Dyas, no.
Count Dooku.
It was Count Dooku, yes.
Oof.
Because he was one of the fallen Jedi from the Order.
What I win?
Paul wins by 3-1. You just get a well done. So well done. Right, we've got one
Well
more
done.
gimmick before we start to sign off. Very quick one, quick fire round. I want Paul and Daniel just to give really quick answers. So Daniel go first, Paul go second. Obi Wan Kenobi fighting against Darth Sidious around Revenge of the Sith era. Who wins? Daniel first. So
Sidious.
Sidious beats Kenobi.
Yeah.
So we'll say
Just
Kenobi.
sheer
Kenobi
force
of that
powers.
era. What about you, Paul?
Sidious, hands down. Like we've seen
Okay,
Obi-Wan
right,
in. Sorry, I was gonna say because like we see him like Count Dooku take him out in both Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones pretty easily. So I'd imagine Palpatine, with his powers, he'd take him to town.
That's true. Right. Well, Paul go first this time. So Obi-Wan versus Din Djarin. Paul.
Oh. Obi.
Okay. Daniel.
Obi go for the neck.
Obi-Wan.
Okay. And a couple more. Obi-Wan versus like the most modern version of Ahsoka. Daniel. Like Revenge of the Sith, kind of Obi-Wan versus
I would say
Ahsoka would
Obi-Wan. I would say he's a expert duelist, so I would say Obi-Wan.
Okay. Paul.
It's hard. Because he's probably got better technique, but she's quite agile. Obi-Wan. I'll go for Obi-Wan. Because technically, like Daniel's saying, just technically better.
Last two should be quite interesting. So we'll go Paul first this time. Obi-Wan versus Kylo Ren.
So is this Revenge of the Sith? Obi-Wan?
Yeah. For talking's sake.
In my heart, I say Obi-Wan. In my head, I'll probably say Kylo Ren just because he's quite skilled and he's got that kind of ragefulness like that maybe pull him through a fight. But then again, he did get his backside handed to him by Rey, so Obi-Wan, going for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Daniel.
Obi-Wan again, hands down. I don't think he's as skilled as Obi-Wan is. Like Paul said, he did get his ass handed to him by Rey, who was untrained.
Cool.
So I would say Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. And the last one's a bit of a damp squib now. Obi-Wan versus Rey.
Rey.
No.
Obi-Wan.
Rey Skywalker.
I'm going to say Rey because she's got that Force lightning, man.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Right, so that was the end of the duels round. Just got a couple more things to do, and that is to give our hype rating for the show. So, Daniel, what are you sitting at out of 10? Because we can't do a ranking, a review, no, not a ranking, a rating yet. So I went for the hype ranking.
Hype, I would say 10.
Okay, Paul?
66.
I get it.
Yeah, totally 10. 10. Like I was looking forward to like Boba Fett. That's why we started this podcast. But I'm really looking forward to this like probably a million times more.
Yeah.
I'm a wee bit nervous. I think it's got so much expectation that it won't be able to please everybody. So I think people need to be prepared that it might subvert their expectations a wee bit.
Yeah. Hopefully they just get it like. Hopefully they get the tone of the show right, because Boba Fett, I thought sometimes they just had cheap laughs and it kind of took away from the kind of whole atmosphere of the show. So hopefully they just get the tone right and there isn't like cheap gags and like comical characters for the sake of it.
I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
I like
think
the
it'd be
vibe
quite
better.
gritty.
I like the vibe better on Tatooine. I didn't like how it looked as much on the other planet. I felt it looked a wee bit too kind of futuristic. So I'm hoping that comes across okay. You know, when the Inquisitors are chasing them and they're walking down the street and jumping through the buildings, I hope that fits in, because you know we obviously had the issue with the Power Rangers and Book of Boba Fett. We want to make sure that it has the right aesthetic.
Yeah.
Never know. That may be where they came from.
Yeah. One thing that was mentioned in the trailer that we didn't talk about was that they're getting bounty hunters to chase Obi-Wan as well. So we might see the likes of Boba Fett, Dengar, Bosk, Cad Bane's also been mentioned as a potential appearance. So it's interesting to see. They shouldn't overcrowd shows. Are we in agreement on that? It's not just people need to have a purpose and a value to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Aye. As long as it's got one of the IGs, that'd be good.
Okay, so second last thing, yep, IG88. Ewan McGregor or Alec Guinness? 1, 2, 3. Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
And that is not a slight in any way, because old Obi-Wan is also one of, if you consider them separate characters, old Obi-Wan is still an absolute favourite of mine. And Alec Guinness' performance, as we said, has led to so many future storylines. Just his line delivery leaves things quite ambiguous, and he was absolutely fantastic and a really smart guy. You probably heard the story of how he asked basically for like was it a cut of like the merchandise royalties or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He struck a really good deal with Lucasfilm at the time. I was listening to a video just before we started, and apparently he was quite funny, and he would be told about a scene and then ask for a even though he totally understood it right away, he would ask them to like break it down into like excruciating detail, even though he totally understood what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, because he's got quite a minor part in the grand scheme of things, he asked for his credit on the credits to be quite small, to not take away from like Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford. So he's talked about that it was maybe quite difficult and didn't really like Star Wars that much, but that's quite a humble thing to do, is to ask to be downplayed, considering how big an actor he was.
Mm-hmm.
But did they do that, or did they just get a small part because he was annoying, and then he just says that?
I don't think he kept very well. People that were saying how his brief scene in Empire Strikes Back, they made it so brief because he wasn't actually that physically well to do it at that time.
Right,
but
okay.
even as a Force Ghost, he gives a great performance. And apart from when he sits down on a rock,
I still did that really great.
Yeah. So yeah, are we in agreement? Alec Guinness, legend, also a fantastic Star Wars actor, but Ewan McGregor is just different.
I think it's hard to judge because like obviously they're in it a disproportionate amount of time. Like we obviously see Ewan McGregor so much more than we've seen Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
So obviously we're more accustomed to Ewan McGregor. So it's a hard one to judge.
I met Alec Guinness first, so we obviously saw the original trilogy first. So he was our entry point for the character.
Who'd win a duel, Ewan McGregor or Alec Guinness?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor. Also, I think it's great to give a wee shout out to James Arnold Taylor, who voiced Obi-Wan in the animated series, who also gives another great version of the character.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. He voices him in the games as well.
Yeah. Out with the scope of the podcast, but his relationship with Satine in the Clone Wars adds another great layer, and the Mandalore episodes are some of the best Clone Wars content.
When you think about it, he just has no luck in life, does he?
No, he's had quite a sad life, really.
Yeah.
Right, so just about done. What I wanted to finish off with is a Kenobi quote off. So we're going to go for a couple of minutes and see how long we can go for. Paul, you're going first.
Hello there.
Dan, you're
Danny
sure.
DeMoor.
I have a bad feeling about this.
It's not about the mission master. It's something elsewhere, elusive.
God's sake.
We can start there. It's fine. We don't need to keep beating it.
Sith Lords are our specialty.
That's an ironic line.
You're my
We're
brother,
still-
Anakin.
Oh, we're still going. Okay. From a certain point of view.
God, there's a lot of pressure in there.
Yeah.
Cody. That's all I've got.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end.
You don't need to see his identification.
Oh, we're still going. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Oh, God damn it.
Move along. You could literally just said move along
No, I'll not do that cheap one.
there. Another happy landing.
We're better than this.
Easy your first steps, Ray.
This weapon is your life.
Right, I'm done.
We did.
You two continue.
So I threw this together in like 10, 15 minutes. So did you have fun?
Yeah. You're coming along to my side of preparation now.
No, because the original plan was literally just to discuss
Snatch.
the upcoming show, but I thought it'd be good to just throw in a few wee interactive bits. So
Very good.
People make sure you're playing along at home. Right, Paul, are you on the plugs tonight? Daniel, do you want to take a shot?
I need to go, Daniel. I need to go.
No. I'm not prepared for that.
Paul, you plugging away then?
I'm too stressed. I can't do it.
Okay, so quick one, because you'll be Kenobi'd out your skull right now. So social media, we're on Twitter. We're quite a wee bit over 500 followers now, going really well. We've made some good friends. We've made some good people that diss us as well. Don't make me mention that other podcast I don't like. Sorry, I'll move on. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. So keep following, liking, all that jazz. In terms of listening to this, you can watch our lovely faces that aren't as nice looking as Ewan McGregor on YouTube. But you can also listen to us on Spotify, Good Pods, Anchor, Amazon Music, Audible, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. I really hope there are no more podcast providers because that is getting really, really tiring. I'm feeling quite stressed about saying what's coming up next because I totally messed it up the last time. So I apologize to anyone who listened to our MCU ranking, which was hopefully everybody, but I sort of messed it up. So if Paul can try and keep me right here, this is going to come out on Monday. This is going to come out on Monday, and then on Thursday, our Doctor Strange review is going to come out, and then the following Monday, we're going to do a ranking of our favorite directors, joined by two special guests, which we'll announce in the coming days. I think that was a bit better, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Right, well,
you could have said editing and I'd be like, yep, that's right.
I'm the schedule guy. So I really enjoyed talking about Kenobi, sharing some experiences, thinking about who would win in the battles and who's making the cameo appearances. So on that note, I didn't plan to say that, but it worked out quite well. I'd like to thank Daniel for making yet another appearance and keeping me company for half an hour while we waited on Paul booting up his laptop.
Thank you.
Like 45 minutes.
Yes. So Daniel, it's policy that the guest shares the slogan at the end of the podcast. Are you up to the task?
The power of escapism.
Yes, he's written that on his wall, so he's got it now.
I've got it tattooed on my arm.
Yes. Neil Boyle was going to do that as well. Right, let's finish off, and we're really excited for the show to come out, and we are going to review every single episode. So, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.